everyone! Today we're gonna talk about the synopsis of Big Mouth episode 2. Big Mouth episode 2 starts with Chang-ho being rushed to the hospital after his accident. As memories with Mi-ho flash by, we zone in on one during a sports event where Mi-ho is in the marching band and Chang-ho is getting ready for his turn at pole vault. Unfortunately, the pole breaks and Chang-ho falls, but Mi-ho is there to pick him up. In the hospital, Chang-ho wakes up and immediately asks for his phone. Since he was on his way to meet the prosecutor, while he does so, someone takes the flash drive and phone from his car and the car itself is crushed. Before Chang-ho can get moving again, policemen turn up and arrest him for drug use. Turn out, his blood test revealed the presence of drugs in his system, and he is carted away. Mi-ho tells him to hold out and trust her and her father to get him out. At the police station, Chang-ho connects the dots regarding the spiked ring. He asks to meet with Mayor Choi and tells him everything, implying that Gong Ji-hoon did this to destroy the evidence. But Mayor Choi isn't happy about Chang-ho meeting with Ji-hoon and refuses to help. Meanwhile, the regional investigation unit turns up at Chang-ho and Go Ki-kwang's law office and conduct a thorough search. To his father-in-law's surprise, they find a suitcase with gold bars, a gun, and massive amounts of cash in the walls and ceiling. It also seems they knew exactly where to look. Chang-ho is taken to Gucheon Penitentiary, a place that he states is for the worst human trash, filled with corruption and tantamount to hell. It certainly seems so, as Chang-ho is first taken to face the three suspects of the Gucheon Hospital murder. He realizes that they are the ones who drug him in retaliation for his role as a double agent. Their lackeys then begin to beat him up. Cut to a black tie party where Mayor Choi and Gong Ji-hoon are present along with their wives and some others. Ji-hoon clearly believes the mayor is beneath him and claims to have donated to his champagne only because of his wife, Hyun-jui. Jui reminds him it was the mayor who got him out of a murder case. We also learn that Big Mouth stole 100 billion won from Ji-hoon. Tensions are running high when a news report breaks out that Big Mouth has been apprehended and his identity is revealed to be Park Chang-ho. At the prison, Chang-ho has been hung up by a rope with a rickety stool beneath him. He apologizes and begs for his life, but the three men don't budge. Someone knocked out the stool from under him. He flees and seems to die, but right at that moment, the warden gets a frantic call from Ji-hoon telling him to let Chang-ho leave since he is Big Mouth. The warden brings along doctor who resuscitates Chang-ho. On the outside, Mi-ho and Chang-ho's lawyer friend Kim Sun-tae try to meet him but are told that he has refused to see visitors. Soon, they find out about the claim that he is Big Mouth. Mi-ho takes a stand in front of reporters and defends Chang-ho, saying he has been framed. She also sends him a direct message reminding him he has a family and saying she's going to fight to prove his innocence. Chang-ho, in his new cell, surrounded by new inmates, watch this on TV and breaks down. Later, he gets interrogated by a prosecutor and denies all knowledge about the things found in his office. They make him take a lie detector test and it goes fine until he is asked if he's Big Mouth. His heart rate spikes, seemingly because his name is Big Mouth, but is not established. On the way back to the prison, he muses on the irony of having his face on TVs everywhere like he once wanted. Back at the prison, he faces the three men again and accuses them of stealing the money from Ji-hoon and framing him for it. In his cell, One of the inmates claims to be a fan and introduces himself as Jerry, inspired by the name Big Mouse. The room leader of the cell, Jerry, and the other inmates do not believe Chang-ho when he says he is in Big Mouse. Back to the three men from the hospital murder case, they are trying to convince Gong Ji-hoon to do something about Chang-ho since his testimony could get them in trouble, but Ji-hoon is more concerned about getting his money back from Big Mouse. He then meets with the prosecutor who was questioning Chang-ho. The prosecutor lets him know about the investigation and promised to get his money back. It looks like Ji-hoon has the prosecutor in the palm of his hand. But the table turns as we see the prosecutor enter a car with none other than Mayor Choi. He hands the mayor a book with Big Mouth's list of drug dealers. They talk about having leverage over powerful people like Gong Ji-hoon. Mayor Choi warns the prosecutor to not betray him. Meanwhile, Mi-ho, her father, and Sante discuss how to move forward with proving Chang-ho's innocence. They decided on finding the research paper written by the dead doctor, the one he was killed for. Despite being dissuaded by the other two, Mi-ho remains actively involved. In prison, people theorize about who Big Mouse really is. One say it's Park Jang-ho, another say he has a tattoo of a mouse on his back, and another says he's a woman. The fact remains that he's terrifying. One of the gang leaders picks a fight with Jang-ho and throws away his food. The warden sees this and gets Chang-ho to a special room where a lavish meal is laid out for him. They bond over a connection in their family lineage until Chang-ho, once again, says he is not Big Mouse. The warden's attitude flips like a coin and he sends Chang-ho to solitary confinement. The poor man can't seem to catch a break and is in more despair than ever before. He misses Mi-ho, leading us to a flashback to when she fought with the upstairs neighbors for causing a leak in their house and got them to pay for the repairs. Mi-ho wistfully looks at a photograph from the same night. She later applies for the position of a nurse at Kuchon University Hospital in order to find out what the late doctor was working on. Soon they realize this news to Chang-ho, who worries for her and wants her to stop. He asks his friend to drop divorce paper on his behalf, since this is the last thing he can do for Mi-ho to live a normal life. At this point, we get another flashback to when Chang-ho wanted to break up with Mi-ho since he wasn't able to pass his exam twice in a row. At the time, Mi-ho tells him she'll take care of him. She even tells him they should get married. We then see another flashback of when Chang-ho finally opened his law firm. He presents Mi-ho with the life insurance he bought and tells her they should get married. Back to the present, Chang-ho, now at his lowest, has decided suicide is the best way out. In the prison courtyard the next day, he has his suicide note ready, but his room leader tells him that trying to kill himself could land him with a disability for life. The room leader counsels him on living as he was meant to live. Chang-ho instead realizes that he is surrounded by murderers of all kinds and doesn't need to do the deed himself. During mealtime, he tries to get the gang leader who picked on him earlier to kill him, but in the process of instigating him, Chang-ho throws a punch that incapacitates the man. Never having punched anybody before in his life, he is surprised by his own strength. He then gets into a fight with a psychopath who killed 9 women. But Chang-ho's taunts about the man's mother make him break down into sobs. His last resort is to warn himself. At night, he pretends to escape prison and ends up in the courtyard, surrounded by guards holding batons and with snipers aiming at him. The episode ends as Chang-ho screams at the guards to shoot him. That's all for today. See you in the next video. Bye!